Hello, I'm Bella Simeone, and this is the AMS show. Today we have Mary McClure. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Mary, can you tell us what you do at Aspen Film?
I am the education coordinator and outreach coordinator, which means I reach out to all the schools in our valley. I reach out to people in the community and let them know about Aspen Film and what we do.
Can you talk about the Aspen Filmfest that's coming to Aspen this month?
Sure. So this is our big 40th anniversary, and we have 23 films that we're going to be showing. We're showing about 9 documentaries, and the rest are feature films. They are a wide range of films, and they're from all over the place, all over the world, and a lot of very big studio films that have won big awards around the world.
I've been wondering how you select your films.
That's a very good question. So in this particular film fest, our executive director, Susan Rubel, she curates the films. Do you know what that means? So she goes out and she finds these films. She finds out which ones have won big awards, that have won different awards in film festivals before our film festival, and she'll reach out to people that she knows and she'll screen the films, and we'll get them to our little nice town and show some very big films here.
What's screen?
So when you screen something, you're watching something. You're watching the film. So she will look at these films, and then she'll decide if they're a good film for our community. And a lot of people in our community are big film buffs. They love movies. Do you like movies?
Yeah.
You do? Good.
I hate reading, so I mean, what else to do?
Well, there you go. Films are good that way. So we have a lot of people that are really interested in films, so we really like to be responsive to our audience, and we want to bring things that are exciting that maybe go to the big cities, but we can bring to our mountains and show them what, has been out in the world.
How many countries participate in the Film Fest?
I can't say for sure. It's more during our Shorts Fest. We have a wide range of films. We have films from all around the world. People can submit their films. But during our Film Fest that we're having now, that's coming up, we have some films from Asia. We have films from France. We have, a selection that are from all over. But generally, doing our Shorts Fest, that's when we are more international in our films.
The films from different countries, are they in that language or are they in American?
That's a good question. Some of them are in subtitles and some of them are not.
Can you tell us about how the schools are involved in Film Fest?
So this is my favorite part of this, is that my job is to bring films to you guys, to the Roaring Fork Valley and a little bit beyond that. And what I do is I look at films that are appropriate for school-age kids, anywhere from elementary all the way up through high school. Your middle school teachers, Ray Lampy and Joe Mueller, have been bringing films to your classrooms for 15 years. And it's really a wonderful opportunity, I think, for you guys. So I go up and down the valley. I get in touch with teachers. I look at films to see what is appropriate for the schools, and I bring those films. And sometimes filmmakers, when they're in town, they really like to come to the schools and show you guys films because they're so interested in your input and want to know what you think about their film.
Do you always bring the films into the classrooms?
We've been doing it for a really long time, as I said, and your teachers have been doing it for 15 years. We have other schools that have been doing it for a long time too, and it's been part of our program. So we just feel it's really important because, like you who wants to be an actress, if you get to see more films, right?
Yeah.
How does that help you as an actress?
You watch them, you figure out what to do, and then you're like, okay.
Right. And do you have friends that like to make films on their phones or
Yeah, all my friends like to make TikToks before school starts.
Okay. So everybody's making films now too, right?
Yeah.
So when you go to the movies or you watch short films, do you get ideas about doing films, or you like, oh, maybe I really like that person's style of acting, or I don't care for that, so maybe that's not how I would want to be as an actress?
I don't know, I just started wanting to be an actress when I met somebody famous, and then I finally realized those are actually people. They're not just people in movies. They're actual people.
Right, exactly. But then they get to be somebody else, which is kind of an interesting thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is it important for students in the Roaring Fork Valley to see these films?
So I think especially because we live in a rural community, a lot of times you kids don't always get outside of our area, and we call it kind of our bubble. And I think it gives a great opportunity for you to see what's going outside of outside of our world here. And it gives you an opportunity to travel without traveling and to see how people live, because we live so differently. I'm sure you've had people come and visit you and they're like, how do you live in the mountains?
It's so cold.
It's so cold. I can't breathe up here. It's so, the altitude. So it gives you an opportunity to go out into the world in front of you on a screen and see what other people's lives are like. And sometimes people's lives are really difficult, and it's maybe nothing that you've seen before, and so it's something that you might relate to or might not relate to. But I think it makes you a better rounded person when you can see what other lives look like and other stories of people's lives.
Can you tell us a little about the documentary We Rise Up?
So We Rise Up is an incredible film. We're showing the world premiere on Friday next week. And we are going to be bringing it to your school actually the day before that, which I'm so happy about. And it's a rise to call of action to being a global citizen, and that doing good in the world doesn't mean that you have to be this incredible person like the Dalai Lama is one of the people that is in the film. Richard Branson, the gentleman who started Tom's Shoes. They are asking, and we also have musicians that are involved too, Moby, DJ Spooky, and these are people from all different walks of life. And what they're asking of the audience, and especially of kids your age, is to make a difference in the world. It doesn't have to be a huge difference. It can be a small difference, such as a lemonade stand, and you give them money to maybe some kids that need some help around your community. It's the small things, but it's asking you to do at least one thing to change something in your community to make it better, or the world, whatever you want it to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is Moving Stories about?
So Moving Stories is a American dance company that goes into war-torn countries and teaches kids a dance. They choreograph a dance within a week, and they tell their story through dance of maybe what they've been through. Kids that have been through war, kids that have had to leave their countries. And what's really nice about it is even though the teachers are American and they might not speak the language of the students, do you talk when you dance?
Yeah.
You do? Do you speak when you're dancing with somebody, or is it a little bit more quiet?
I don't dance.
Well, when you see people dancing, are they talking to each other?
No, they're not like, how was your day? How was your day?
Right.
How was your day?
So what they ask these kids to do is just to express themselves through dance. And so nobody has to be able to speak the language, but it's like being a mime. You know what a mime is? So exactly, being a mime. So dancing a lot of times can really convey people's emotions. So they're coming in and they're helping kids do that. And then they're also taking some kids, that's quite incredible, that have been in war conflicts together, and they've brought them together, and they might never have met before, and they become dancers together and become friends. So it's just a really nice movie about how people and kids can cross barriers and become friends through dance.
War conflicts, you mean like there's two countries, or like?
Yeah, so we have in one part of the movie, we have kids from South Korea and kids that got out of North Korea. So you have these kids from two different opposing countries that are able to get together and become friends, even though they were enemies.
Do they know where each other are from when they meet?
Do, and you can see in the movie sometimes they're a little bit put off from each other, or some of these kids in Romania, they they haven't been in really great schools. Like you know, we're so lucky in our valley. You have such nice schools, and they really work on working together and teams and things like that. And some of these kids, they've never had that before. They've always had to flee. They've always, they've bombing around them. They just have never had a nice, normal life. And so they're learning how to communicate with other people, maybe kids from a different part of their neighborhood that they have maybe never have gotten along with. And now they're put together and they learn how to work together. So it's a really nice thing.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about Picture of His Life?
So Picture of His Life is about a famous photographer. He's a still photographer, and it has been his lifelong dream to capture polar bears underwater. He's an underwater photographer. And I don't know about you, but I think about people get in shark cages and take pictures, but he goes in and he really interacts with the mammals that he's been around and underwater, all sorts of crazy situations where animals could attack him or this or that. And he does on land and under the water too. But his big dream is to be underwater with polar bears and capture them in their environment. And nobody's really done that before. So that is his story of how he goes after them. And also a little bit about his father, who never quite believed in what he did and as a photographer and didn't think it was very valuable. And in this movie you see how valuable he is, because he's brought us images that nobody else has ever brought to us. Things that being next to killer whales and going up on the beach and grabbing seals and being in that environment. I mean, nobody's ever documented that. So he's quite a spectacular person, and his father just didn't quite understand him.
So he doesn't go in cages, he just walks up to them?
Pretty much. Or hides himself in their seaweed and does all these crazy things to get the shot. Yeah.
Have you ever met him?
I have not met him.
So, what films are suitable for families, you take your family to?
Well, one of the most suitable films is the Muppet Movie. Have you ever seen Sesame Street? Yes. So it's by the creator, Jim Henson. It's Miss Piggy, Kermit the Frog.
My brother was obsessed with them. He had he had the ones that were that tall, the stuffed animals.
Yes. So, I mean, your
His
brother
favorite
grew
was
up
Animal.
with them. I love Animal too. I love Miss Piggy because she is just naughty and funny, and I just love her. But it's a movie that it's really fun, that your parents will know, your brother knows. If you don't know, you should get to know these characters. And we're going to do muffins and coffee at the Wheeler, so you can come before the movie and have some snacks and then go watch the movie. But it's funny. It's for adults and for children. Anybody would enjoy it.
What are your personal favorite films this year?
Well, I'm excited to see Judy. That stars Renee Zellweger, and it's the story of Judy Garland. Did you ever see The Wizard of Oz? Mm-hmm. Okay, well, she's Dorothy. And that is, so it's her life story.
I thought Dorothy got crushed by a house.
Well, in the movie, she did. And but this is her life story, and she was quite a talent. She also, there was some tragedy in in her life, which a lot of artists have. But she was a brilliant, brilliant actress, and so many people loved her. And this is a big comeback film for Renee Zellweger, who I think is wonderful and always has been terrific. So I'm really excited to see that. I love the movie. It's a documentary, Changing the Game, which I think is a really important film. I'm excited to see, what was the other one? The Laundromat, which is wonderful. And I'm excited to see that. I think that's really timely for us right now, what's going on in our world.
What is The Laundromat?
It basically, well, I don't want to give too much away. Meryl Streep's in, there's a huge, huge cast, and there's a lot of twists and turns in it. So I don't want to say too much about it, but it's there's so many good films in this festival that when people ask me, I've had a really hard time telling them which movies to go to, because there's some very deep, some can be a little disturbing, some are happy and uplifting. It's kind of a roller coaster of emotions and just beautiful cinematography. So I can't really choose too many.
How many films are coming?
23.
That's a lot of films.
No, it's a lot. A lot. It's gonna, people, if they're gonna be busy. I seriously can't even choose which ones.
Yeah, that's like
I'm
an
lucky
hour.
because I get to be there and I get to see them.
It's like an hour each. That's like 230 hours of
I'm
movies.
glad you can add that quickly.
What are the dates of Aspen Film Fest, and where are the films playing?
So September 23rd to the 29th, they're playing in Aspen at the Wheeler and the Isis. The daytime movies are at the Isis. The evening movies are at the Wheeler. And then Carbondale, we're showing Friday through Sunday. And those are all documentaries this year. And you can get your tickets at the Wheeler Opera House or at aspentix.com or through our Aspen Film Festival or aspenfilm.org. You can go on there and get the tickets too.
Well, you should all buy tickets.
Yes, you should.
Where can people buy tickets?
So that's what I was just saying, at the Wheeler
Mm-hmm.
and down in Carbondale and on the website I just gave you.
What are other events coming up for Aspen Film?
So January 4th through the 7th is Academy screenings, and those are all the films that are being put up for Academy Awards. We can't show them all, but we show a lot of them. And that's really fun to go to, because sometimes during the holidays it's difficult to see a lot of the movies. So after the holidays, when everything is settled down, everybody can start going to Academy screenings. I don't have the lineup yet, but I'm sure it will be very good.
It always is. Is there anything else you would like to share with us?
I guess mostly that I love that your school in particular is very involved. I have other schools that are being very involved with Aspen Film, and that film is a really important medium, and we want you to always enjoy it. And as you said, you don't always want to read, even though it is good to read, very important.
If there wasn't movies, you would have to read, and reading's so boring, so.
Well, sometimes you read the book and then watch the movie, because they are two different things.
Yeah.
And they're both great for you to do. And so come to the movies and tell all your friends.
Thank you so much, Mary, for being on the show.
Thank you.
Aspen Film Fest is September 25th through 30th. Tickets are now on sale. I am Bella Simeone, and thank you so much for watching the AMS show.